Before I make my comments by way of protocol, I want to assure the Council that I'm very aware as to what is not appropriate to say from a public platform. I have documentation of what I cannot say, and I will refer to some of it for you. So with that in mind, the Angus 405 North Cannon. On January 15th, the Sierra Madre News ran an article on local kumquat website, Silly Side of Sierra Madre. In this, Mayor Buchanan is stated to be a fan of the site and says, a political environment like Sierra Madre's, where substantial tension exists, is exactly where websites like the kumquat can flourish. Quote, they provide a kind of comic relief that all human beings need to cope with life on a day-to-day basis. After reading that the mayor was a fan of this site, several Sierra Madre residents checked it out and were outraged by what they found. I consider Mayor Buchanan to be a gentleman, so I must believe that he was not aware of what was on the site when he made his remarks in the Star News. Residents find kumquat is not silly, but degrading, offensive, sleazy, and blasphemous. Several have brought me printouts as documentation, which I will give all of you. December 17th, 2006. Kumquat reported Boy Scouts in downtown Sierra Madre selling mistletoe, and they name a common contraceptive device. The site associates the Scout motto, be prepared, with the device, and talks about 7-year-old boys selling this. An interview with the fictitious pastor of the Sierra Madre Congregational Church quotes him as saying he applauds the Boy Scouts for spreading the word about Christmas, as that will lead some to accept Christ as their Savior, but he names the device. The pastor then recommends an alternative contraceptive because it would be more cumbersome to apply. The piece ends with the troop leader saying the boys are having fun and think they are selling mistletoe and cherry-flavored balloons. A highlight of the council centennial was the Boy Scouts presenting the colors. Upright young men proudly wearing their badges. To have them smeared in this way, I find shameful. There is much obscenity on this site. The F word, then Christ, then the F word. There is a picture of Jesus with a crown of thorns featuring his need to check into rehab. Local merchants are named as selling cigarette and alcohol-flavored contraceptives. January 24th, kumquat referred to Kirsten Court and urinating on the nativity scene. Mayor Buchanan, please immediately retract that you're a fan of this website. Retract your statement that the political environment in Sierra Madre is exactly where websites like kumquat can flourish. This is a terrible slur on the community. Sierra Madre is decent and family-oriented. I believe our city would never be a place where this type of website would flourish. Please, Mr. Mayor, tell us that you did not know this degrading smut was on the site when you made your remarks in the Star News. And I invite you and City Council members to condemn what they are posting on it. I would like a little response. I'll give these too.
I'm going to let everybody else speak.
Well, aren't you allowed to respond?
I can respond if I choose to. I do not choose to respond to questions about what I will look at or not look at on a website. Go ahead. Who's next?
Well, not to means you're not offended by this material.
Faye, I will decide what I will look at on a website.
What
no one else will do that. And I'm not going to put my finger to... Excuse me, I'm not going to put... You and I are always... have conducted ourselves in a courteous and professional manner, and I continue to do so. But what I've looked at on a website, the context of my comments, I'm not going to go down this road of talking about whose comments are appropriate and who's not in the community on a website that is meant to be humorous. I don't endorse any particular website. I don't necessarily think every piece of humor is funny, even if I find some other piece of humor funny. I'm not going to go down that road.
I'm shocked that you wouldn't condemn this.
Well, you'll have to be shocked.
Hi, Barbara Lee, 425 East Sierra Madre Boulevard. Missed the article in Star News. I hope it was misquoted. Anyway, quite possibly SCAG had the idea